Hi everybody, it's Vivek here from Meaningful Ideas, talking about conscious parenting. And I'm really, I'm really happy right now. I just had this moment with my daughter, who's 22, and and she's been going through a hard time, and I want to guide her. I want to guide her. Excuse the mess in my kitchen. I just wanted to make this video right when it happened, because it's like fresh with me. So here, sunflowers, that's good. So anyway, so we're hanging out and we're talking about life. I'm talking about the meditations that I lead. Right now I'm leading meditations, weekly meditations for parents. And it's such an exciting thing, and the parents are getting so much out of it because they're getting tools that they can actually use in their daily lives to center their minds. And it's not something that they have to set time aside. It integrates into their lives. Such a great tool, such a great thing. If you're interested, let me know. It's on my Patreon, which I'm doing with a couple of my colleagues. But anyways, all the marketing aside, the two of us are in there and we're talking about life. And in my meditation today, one of the things I taught was to look at your thoughts and to ask two questions. So you actually look at a thought, like my thought was, I'm afraid of rejection. And I kind of used that thought as the theme for me throughout the meditation, because we were looking at our thoughts. And so I was looking at that thought, and I would look at it and ask it two questions. One, and I'm looking at it, pointing, and I say, where do you come from? And then I just take a breath and I listen. And I don't expect anything. I don't expect it to be anything in particular. Wait, sunflowers. Okay. I don't expect it to be anything in particular. I just breathe it in. And the first question is, where do you come from? And then you just listen. You don't expect anything. Second question, what message do you have for me? What message do you have for me? Is the second question. So the way it works is you ask the first question, where do you come from? And then you take a breath and you listen. You ask it a second time, you take another breath and you listen. Ask it a third time, take another breath and you listen. Then you pause. Then you look at it again. Then you ask it, what message do you have for me? And then you pause, take a breath and listen. Then you ask it a second time and a third time. So you ask it 3 times, altogether 6 times. It's a bit of a longer thing. It's not a micro. Usually I teach micro meditations and micro self-observations. This is a little bit more than a micro. It's like 4 micros. But we're doing it together, right? We have an hour together. We've kind of booked this time apart with each other a couple of times a week. And anyway, so we're doing this, and I wanted to share this with my daughter. I even mentioned on the call that it's a great kind of thing to help your kids. And I wanted to mention it to her. But I didn't want her to think I was preaching to her. And I didn't want her to think I thought she couldn't handle whatever it is she's going through. I didn't want her to think that I'm doing that. I just wanted her to think that I'm giving her a tool to use from a place of seeing her empowered and her power, right? God, that's hard. That's a hard mindset to grasp. Like I had to really zero in. And I'm sitting there and we're interacting. And part of me is interacting, but part of me is doing this deep work where I'm trying to find that place. But it also meant I had to be really confident in what I'm teaching. I have to believe that those 2 questions have meaning. Where do you come from? And what message do you have for me? And is that useful? Yes. I built my life around those questions in a lot of ways. So I got centered in that, and I had to let go of all my fear. And I just looked at her and I said, hey, kiddo, the reason I told you that story about the meditation was I wanted to offer it to you as a tool. So I got up off the floor. I was sitting on the floor, on the beanbag chair, actually. I said, it was like time to go to bed. And I said, hey, kiddo, I just want to give you this thing as a tool, this meditation. I'd already told her the story about it, so I just want to say that part of the reason I told you that was to offer this to you as a tool, and you could take a thought that you might have of a fear or something like that, and you can ask those 2 questions. Well, where do you come from, and what do you do? What message do you have for me? And she was like, yeah, I think I already kind of do that naturally. And I said, yeah, I can see that. She's like, why? I said, because you are very self-reflective. And she liked that answer. She said, yeah. And I said, and you're steeped in it because this is how we live and how what I teach. And she said, yeah, of course, that's right. That makes sense. I said, so it's part of who you are. And she really liked that answer because it was like affirming, So I was able to share the information without it seeming like a put down in any way or that I was worried, actually uplifting. And then I got out of there and I was going, yes. Because I put so much work into that moment. Like for weeks. I've been waiting for that moment. For weeks. And it came and I took it. I feel so good. And I feel like there's like a shift, in what I can share now. And this is the thing, right? I talk about the three relationships of model, guide, and friend. Model, guide, and friend. I get so emotional when I think about it because it's not just labels, It's deep relationships. That's what I'm talking about, The relationship of friend is not what people usually think of as like, oh, you can just do whatever you want. No. Friend is like deep seeing, right? Deep trusting, deep accepting. This is friend. Deep fun, deep interest, co-interest in what each other is interested in. Deep. That's friendship. The guide is me offering what I've learned and the stability that I have from my inner work for her to lean on. That's guide. And when I put that work into like wanting to give her a piece of feedback and waiting weeks for the right moment, that's really me taking the guide responsibility seriously. And now I gave her something that she can more consciously use to reflect on her own thoughts. And because I trust her capacity with an extra tool, I've given her something that hopefully will really help her. So I'm feeling very good about this moment, and I wanted to share it with you for a few reasons. One, because I wanted to explain like the concept to you of the meditation and the model, guide, friend stuff. I wanted to kind of show how those things kind of like can fit together, right? About the mindset and working on the mindset that's going to be behind what it is I'm going to share, so that I come from a really solid place, centered in acceptance and in seeing the capacity of the other person. So important. So easy to slip in that because we question our own capacity so often that we're used to that. So then helping someone not doubt their capacity, but really lean into their capacity and discover what it is. That's what we're trying to do. And that's why by offering her those questions, I trust that it's going to lead to something beautiful. And it opens the door for more of that now, because I kind of know like we have a new avenue created between us. And that happens a lot, like that's something that you can do with your kids over time, especially as they evolve. And you evolve, new levels of communication open up, and we have to have some courage. Like it's taking me some real courage right now, I have to admit, to say certain things because I'm afraid. I mean, I said that my fear of rejection was my thing in my meditation, right? So it's taking me some courage to actually say certain things to her and trust in the relationship that we've built over 22 years, to trust in the relationship that of vulnerability and really knowing the other so deeply, because I worked really hard over the years to make sure that I haven't held authority over her ever, and it's from if you know me, yeah, but it's from the traditional mainstream paradigm, it's hard to imagine not holding authority over your child, even a little bit. But I work really hard at that, and she feels it, she knows. She knows that her no is not negotiable, right? She knows that. And it's always been that way. It's hard to live that way, I know. And of course there's exceptions, of course, for safety and unavoidable scheduling. I understand. But I mean, like, we have this solid relationship. I don't want to say that. I really like it, but I don't want to say it. Let me backtrack. But that's good for me. So thank you, friends. I just wanted to share this with you to give you kind of a peek into my life, and maybe you can take something from it. And I'd love to hear what it means to you. I would love for you to follow me on my social media. It's all Meaningful Ideas. Meaningful Ideas on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. MeaningfulIdeas.com is my blog, although it's all from 2015. It's beautiful stuff, but it's kind of a little bit older. And please come and join me on my Patreon. It's called the Gentle Parents Unite Patreon. If you type that in, you will find us. It's really beautiful because we do a honor system payments, so you can pay anything from $1 on up, whatever you can afford and whatever you end up thinking it's worth, and you can change it month to month depending on your finances. And nobody ever says anything. It's whatever works for you. But there are like a lot of things that we do in there, like these meditations, and that are really great, and the community is really beautiful. I'm really so touched actually by the work that we're all doing. So I'll put links below, and thank you very much. I appreciate sharing this moment with you, and have a good rest of your day.